talk about romance tropes that should not work, but somehow do. Like, some are fun red flags and some are full-blown FBI case files. Today we're ranking the most problematic romance tropes between fun and fatal, and yes, once my frontal lobe fully develops, I will deeply regret this. The scale is simple. If fun means we'd still read it, fatal means we need therapy. And a priest. Starting with the I can't be with you because I'm dangerous, or the Twilight era martyr complex. In my personal opinion, nothing about this trope is because he's protecting her. It's more like emotional mansplaining, but with hidden weapons and a gun arsenal in his basement. Twilight walked so every Wattpad fic that loves this trope could run, shirtless and brooding. The reason why so many of us really do love this trope, and it really does suck us in, it's because it sells the fantasy of you being worth the risk. Like,
oh my god, he should definitely not be with me, but he gave up everything and he's putting his life on the line to be with me.
Let's just say I understand the appeal. But deep down it might just be toxic chivalry disguised as romance. I'm kind of weirdly into it. The reason I finally understood the appeal of this trope is when I read The Devil's Bargain by Karen Hart. This man literally stays away from the love of his life for decades.
In order to protect like her life and her sanity and her normalcy as he's involved in an organized crime family.
It is quite literally the definition of the trope, I can't be with you to protect you. I need you to understand how much he loves this woman. Now, just because I like the book does not mean the vast majority of people agree with me. It's firmly in the dark romance category, and as this review puts it, this was absolutely atrocious. So clearly my fun and fatal ranking is going to be purely based on my personal opinion, and usually I'd say to this trope, sir, you're not dangerous, you just need boundaries and daylight. But because of how good Karen Hart's book was, yeah, I'm gonna have to put it on the fun tier. Called it a mid-red flag. That's how good the author is. Here's your crown queen. Next on our even more problematic romance tropes is the revenge seduction. You know, when he dates her to ruin her but accidentally develops feelings and falls in love, which we all saw coming. It's like such a specific spin-off of enemies to lovers. This trope quite literally invented hypocrisy. I'm only dating you to destroy you. Bestie, that's just dating. I'm trying to find examples of this trope, but it's like every single billionaire dark romance ever somehow touches on this. It's a PowerPoint of bad decisions. It's giving Dante by Sadie Kincaid.
This man kidnaps her to his massive mansion, gives her everything she could possibly need when she's struggling to make ends meet, all because her cousin owes him some kind of debt.
And you're reading this like,
bro's really coming up with the most ridiculous excuses just because you like this woman.
Just take her out on a date like a normal person. The kidnapping was so freaking unnecessary. Just admit your feelings. And I read the entire series. Listen, it's enemies to lovers with a HR violation. I think we as readers just love watching control fall apart. Especially if you have a main character, whether they're male or female, be portrayed as like really uptight and really controlled. And like, I have a plan and I'm gonna stick to it. And then their soft little heart, that little pitter patter on their chest, sees this person across the room and just goes, and my plan went to shit. And we're like, the power of love compels you. Oh, God.
But like when it's secret revenge seduction, when the other person doesn't know that they're being seduced for an end game, and then they fall in love, and then you have that third act of discovering that it was all a ploy.
Everything in my heart just stops. It's the biggest gut drop, bottom drop, stomach drop. I don't know what you call it. I just feel ill for the character. Because imagine thinking you finally have something real and something genuine, only to find out that it was all a ploy. Oh, I'm sick just saying it. With all that being said, add revenge seduction to my bingo card of tropes that need restraining orders. It's gonna have to be fatal. It's like very fun to read, but not to live. The next problematic trope is the I hate everyone but you, but done too literally. Because I love this trope as much as the next gal, but there's some caveats there that make it questionable. Especially when he's like not mysterious, he's just socially underdeveloped. And I don't even need to give you an example. If I just say the words grumpy hockey player or fave Grey Prince, a character that does this immediately pops into your head. They have one personality trait, possessive silence. And you know me, I love putting on my therapist cap. I think the appeal of this trope is that we romanticize exclusivity as devotion. As in, when he hates literally everyone and he can't stand anybody else but her, it makes it feel like the object of the affection is somehow put on a pedestal. Especially if you self-insert into characters, it feels very appealing, doesn't it? You're the single object of affection. You are literally the exception to the rule. That obviously feels special, but if you take a step back, if this trope was happening in real life, it would be like isolation with abs, you know? It would never be appealing to be with somebody that has no social skill whatsoever and is incapable of holding a dinner party conversation. If you've ever been out with your friends and somebody introduces their boyfriend or their girlfriend and this person's just there like this the entire meal, you go home and you chat with your friends and you're like, they were kind of a right? It's just not a pleasant experience. Someone get this man a hobby. And in books, a friend who isn't the FMC. This man needs a better social circle. As much as I can't stand it in real life, I understand that in our fun and fatal scale, it's not a criminally punishable offense. By our rules, it has to go on the fun tier, but barely. You're so close to being kicked out. It's like this. P.S. If you survive this far, drop a red flag emoji in the chat and tell me which trope makes you red with anger. I simply must know. Next up we have the Gaslight-to-Lovers, which is the ultimate crossover episode between romance and psychological thriller. I had to. This trope is so stupid and so like miscommunication coded. I never said that. Sir, it's literally on page 32. I can go back and I can quote you on this. I need you to do the opposite. I need you to be so obsessive, so absolutely in love that you remember every single detail and every single interaction you've had with this person. I need you to be Ari Lancaster. Like that level of obsessed that you never forget a singular detail. Ari met his dream girl when he was a literal child. They're in a group foster home. She gets adopted. This man becomes an NHL hockey player and still his only thought, his only goal in life is to meet her again. And he sees her all these years later and immediately recognizes her. Can you imagine that many years? And he's like,
your face has changed, your body's changed, but you're still you, and I still know you.
Oh my god, can you tell how much I love this book? The appeal is there, okay? It's dreamy. But I do think we, as in me, do confuse intensity with intimacy a lot. It's why readers, especially dark romance readers, think manipulation equals passion, or at least our brain makes that association. I have to step myself back a little bit from that and just be like, no, they're just in love. Let them be in love, you know?
I just need them to be so mentally insane for each other, okay?
I need him when he does something wrong to grovel on his aunts and goddamn niece. Like, I DNF'd a book at 10% because this man accidentally deleted a text message. If he can't remember the color of her eyes when she wakes up in the morning, he doesn't deserve her. Okay, I think I might need a new tier between fun and fatal, which is just therapy deductible. Let's just put it on the fatal side. No, and call it. Next, we have the most infuriating romance trope, which is the petty breakup competition. It's like rivals to lovers via emotional immaturity. Because nothing says healing like turning heartbreak into the Olympics. Let me give you a very simple example. It's when they break up and they start having this stupid ass competition of who can date someone hotter faster. Because we're so mature and so over it. And in the meantime, they're just hurting other people's feelings. And most authors make the people that they're dating or seeing or using as like really mean and really awful to make us, the readers, be like,
it's okay that they're manipulating somebody else because they're incapable of saying that they still have feelings for their ex.
Oh my god. I don't think I took a single breath saying that sentence. That's how much it pisses me off. And somehow this weaponized pettiness, we all admire it. We all get suckered into it. Because it's like, they're just trying to move on and they don't know how to express their feelings. Ugh. Realistically though, I have to respect it because pettiness is powerful. I am a very, very petty person.
I asked the folks in my stepsat group to tell me the names of people who wronged them in the past, and I've inserted them in all of my future books.
I have 8 years worth of books to write and have names for villains of every single one of them. That's how petty I am. I distribute my pettiness. You have someone you want horrible things to happen to in fiction? Bring them on, baby. One of them is gonna lose an eye, and I don't feel any bad about that. But back to the trope itself. Fatal, but relatable. Apparently we've learned nothing from our many other videos we've done on this topic. Love is war, and I'm losing on purpose. There you have it, the 5 most morally questionable romance tropes, ranked from slightly questionable to police are on their way. But tell me, which trope do you love anyway? Or drop your toxic fave in the comments. I will be making a part 3 if I emotionally recover from it. And shout out to Eli Zip, who commented on my last video. You mentioned that you love my channel, and you always give such really thoughtful comments, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I love chatting with all of you in the comments. If you want a shout out in my next video, make sure you drop one.